guys come? Which printer? So having your exams, I think it's on the back. Okay. Hey Farhan, how are you? This Farhan, you were absent for some time. Where have you been? Hello, guys. I mean, not audible. Can anyone hear me in the class?
Yes, sir.
Is my voice not reaching to anyone?
Sir, I can hear you.
Kindly confirm if I'm audible in the class or not. You guys are not responding.
Sir, can you hear me? Hello, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Okay, it's better. Okay, let's just start the class. Yeah. So we were learning about protozoans. We had learned about the protozoans in the last class. Farhan, you were absent in some of the classes.
Yes, sir.
Try to maintain attendance in the class. Okay, now why? Because if you are skipping the classes, if there is some genuine reason, then it is okay. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you. It might become difficult for you to catch on with what's going on in the batch. Okay. So what about your exams? I think you have recently given some exam in your school, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me check that. So how was it? As I'm checking it over here.
Not much problem, sir.
Not much problem. So you have crop production management, coal and petroleum, force and pressure, right?
Yes, sir.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. Yeah, Aman, how's everything?
Sir, just fine, sir.
Just fine. What happened?
Sir, I'm getting injured nowadays.
I am what?
I'm injured, sir.
Why you always get injured, huh? So sometimes
Daily,
you have injury in your knee.
daily,
Uh-huh.
sir, like because of playing
Uh,
football, sir, I'm dealing
uh,
with much and much more injuries, sir. Every month I get at least 4 or 5 injuries. I don't know why, sir. Every
oh,
time, sir.
try to be careful.
Sir, this time I got a hamstring.
Oh, try to be careful. Try to be careful. Okay. So let me quickly revise what we have learned about protozoans in the last class. Okay. After this, we'll be continuing with the virus, and then we'll be learning about the. Hold on. Actually, we did. Yeah, algae. We have learned about that. Okay. So about the protozoans, I told you that protozoans are basically single-celled organisms. They are unicellular organisms and they are animal-like organisms. Right now, they are animal-like organisms. They can be found to be living independently or they can live as parasites also. Some of the common examples are amoeba, plasmodium, paramecium, and let's take one more example. We have got anta-amoeba also. Anta-amoeba. Okay. Now, the question is that why they are called as animal-like? Why we are calling them as animal-like organism? Why so? Because first of all, they are heterotrophic in nature. They cannot prepare their own food. They don't do photosynthesis. Second thing is that they have got special structures in them that allows them to move from one place to another. Okay, now that they can move from one place to another. So because of these reasons, they are considered as animal-like organisms. Just like algae are considered as plant-like organisms now. So the protozoans are considered as animal-like organisms. Now, some of them are known to cause diseases also. Okay, now also you can take a look at the protozoan, which you can take a look at paramecium, which is a slipper-shaped protozoan. So slipper-shaped protozoan have a shape like a slipper. Then amoeba, oh, you must have heard about amoeba, right? Which does not have a fixed shape. It has false legs. It will extend cytoplasm in any of the direction, and it can form pseudopodia in any part from any part of its body. And it can use the pseudopodia to trap its food. Like in this animation, you can see how it has trapped its food, and then it will take in the food. It will go into the food vacuole with the help of digestive enzymes. It will be digested, and they will obtain nutrition from it, obtain energy from it. Then some diseases are also spread by protozoans. Right now, some of the protozoans are found to be living inside our body. Particularly, they can be found to be living in our small and the large intestines, and there they can cause some infections. Okay, now, like there is a disease called as amoebic dysentery. Amoebic dysentery, where where amoeba is found to be living in the large intestine of the humans, and they will feed on the food particles and the bacteria. Whatever undigested food particles are left in the large intestine, the this anti-amoeba would be this anti-amoeba histolytica, right? It will feed upon the food particles, and even some bacteria are found to be living in the large intestine, which are actually good for digestion. So anti-amoeba histolytica, which is a protozoan, it will eat the good bacteria. It will also eat the undigested food particles, and also will be known to cause so many problems. Like it can lead to diarrhea, right? Or it can lead to dysentery with blood and mucus in the stool. Like basically, there will be frequent loose motion. The person can suffer from frequent loose motion, and sometimes it can be very severe. Like they could be blood or mucus coming in the stool. Why you guys always keep your cameras off? Huh? Aman, you used to keep it on. Aman, what happened to you? You never keep it on. You saying like there's something is sticking on the camera. Last year also you told me the same thing. Please get it fixed. Hmm? And the only reason why I
What's
um
upcoming, sir? I'm just about to get a new laptop, sir.
okay, and the only reason why I keep repeating this thing because it's actually
Yes, sir, I
one
know,
of the
sir, because you will know about how attentive we are in the class.
yeah, that's one of the reason, and the second reason is that I have been told to ask you guys to keep your cameras on in the class. Okay, so because of these reasons, I usually
Because
keep
it's just
repeating this.
about a 1 week time, sir.
Okay, okay, no worries. So that is amoebic dysentery. Next, another common disease is malaria that is caused by plasmodium. Okay, plasmodium is found to be living in the red blood cells of the human. If the human is infected, so plasmodium it goes to the red blood cells right now, and there it will be living. That is the RBC, red blood cells. If you guys remember in the 7th grade, when we had this chapter transportation in plants and animals, I did taught you guys about the red blood cells, right? We learned about the blood groups and all that. Remember, no?
Yes, sir.
Good. So this plasmodium will be found to be living over there. So it infects our red blood cells. Getting it? It will be infecting our red blood cells. Okay. So if a person is infected from plasmodium, right? So he will be suffering from malaria, obviously. That person is suffering from malaria. If in his red blood cell plasmodium is found to be living, so that person is suffering from malaria. If that person were to be bitten by this female Anopheles mosquitoes, by female Anopheles mosquitoes, and that mosquito where that mosquito suppose were to bite another person who happens to be healthy, but the moment he is bitten, he is no more healthy. The plasmodium via the blood stream will spread in his body, right now, as the mosquito will sit to suck on the blood of this person. So they will insert their proboscis now into their skin. Proboscis, you understand, they have a tiny needle like thing coming out of their mouth with the help of which they suck blood, right? So as they insert it, so since the plasmodium is found to be living like it has now entered, like earlier this mosquito has bitten a person suffering from malaria. So while it sucked the blood from the person, so the plasmodium entered into the body of mosquito, isn't it? Yes, Priyanka? Isn't it? And now when it sits on the body of this healthy person, so while sucking the blood, so thereby the blood will get mixed with the person of this blood. The plasmodium will go into the blood of this person. Getting it now? And hence it will create problem. So basically not like blood will get mixed. Basically the plasmodium would be getting transferred to the blood stream of this person. Yes, Abu Bakr, you're saying something.
Sir, why is it only that the female mosquito gets
Hmm.
infected?
Good question. The reason why female mosquitoes would be sucking the blood is because they need protein-rich diet in order to lay the eggs. Female mosquitoes have to lay eggs, right? Male mosquitoes do not have to lay eggs, so they will not be sucking on the blood. They will be relying upon the nectar. Male mosquitoes, their food is basically nectar. Nectar is basically the fruity smell liquid
Sir, it's
coming out of
also
the.
for honeybees nectar.
Yeah, basically honeybees also feed upon the nectar from the flowers. Okay, so female mosquitoes have to
I've not
lay
seen
eggs.
mosquitoes sucking nectar.
Nectar is not only found on the flower, no, it's present on the stem, it's present on the leaf also. Getting it? So
Yeah, sir, but
mosquitoes.
I've never seen a mosquito
Hmm,
suck a nectar from anywhere, sir.
no,
Not
actually,
even in animations, in
have
any
you?
videos.
Oh, so get out of that animation world. See, basically, have you been to a forest, to a jungle, hmm?
Yes, sir.
To a place where there has been so many plants? Particularly
Yes, sir. Yes,
during
sir.
the evening, you might see that so many mosquitoes would be found in that jungle or forest during the evening hours. Okay, so they hide between the
Sir, but
leaves,
it's
between the
very
bushes.
unusual to hear
Mhm.
about mosquitoes sucking nectar.
No, like I have some plants in my home. I usually every evening I find them. I find them every evening between
But
the
for me, sir,
branches.
it's really unusual to hear this, sir. I
Yeah.
never ever knew about this.
Hmm. So many things you'd be hearing for the first time, and you might find it a stranger little bit. Okay, it happens. No worries. Moving on to the next group of microorganisms, so that is viruses. Okay. By the way, Prinka, what's the update on your exam? You're having your exam on this 29th, if I'm not wrong. Yes, Prinka? Prinka, you have microorganisms which is going on. Force and pressure we have completed. And for the chapter combustion and flame, I asked you whether you'll be needing extra class. You told me you won't be needing. Priyanka, kindly confirm the exam date, like it's on 29th of June, if I'm not wrong, right? 29th of May, sorry.
Yes, sir, 29th.
29th, no? Okay. By the way, before 29th, we won't be able to finish the chapter microorganisms. Would you like to have extra class? Tell me.
Sure, sir.
You would like, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So tomorrow you are available, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let the counselor know. I will also let them know, and let them know about the timing also. At what timing it can be scheduled. Okay. Okay, they will discuss with you.
Okay.
So the next group of microorganism is the viruses. All right, now viruses. So viruses, a very unique thing about the virus is that they are the smallest of all the microorganisms. They are the smallest microorganism. Now, they are said to be so small that 500 million rhinoviruses. Rhinoviruses is name of a virus. Rhinovirus is the name of a virus. And this virus is responsible for causing common cold. Okay, na? It is responsible for causing common cold. Once
Yes,
in a
sir.
while, like everyone unfortunately suffers from common cold, and that is caused by
Yes, sir.
rhinovirus. So if you
Sir,
have
there's
a
no
pin,
cure for it, right?
it eventually goes away on its own. There is no antibiotic for it.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. So if you have a pin, on the tip of this pin, you can have about 500 million rhinoviruses. How many? 500 million
Sir, half
rhinoviruses.
a billion.
Yeah, half a billion rhinoviruses found to be living on the tip of a pen. Like you can not found, like it can be adjusted over there. Could fit on the head of a pin. So imagine how small they are. Here is the size comparison of the virus with
Sir,
other
is it
cells.
smaller than an atom?
Smaller than an atom? No, not smaller than an atom. Getting it? Okay. Further, take a look at the comparison of the size of this virus with the different cells. Like this is the red blood cell. Take a look at the size. This is the E. coli bacteria. That is lysosome. It is one of the cell organelle found inside our cells. It is something that is found inside our cells. Okay. Then take a look at these three microorganisms. All of them are virus.
Sir, can this
Influenza
be
virus,
seen with
HIV virus,
microscope or
SARS-CoV-2
not?
virus. They can be seen particularly with the microscope. We can see them with microscope. Particularly high powered microscope would be required. Okay, na? High powered microscope would be required to see the viruses.
And sir, what is this NM?
NM is basically nanometer. Okay, na? Nanometer. Getting it.
Okay,
So
sir.
microscope would be required to view the virus, obviously, right? Typically ranging from 20 to 400 nanometer microscopes would be required. If you have to view them, so the range of the microscope, the size of the microscope should be between 200 to 20 to 400 nanometer.
Sir,
So
what are
nanometer is
the
basically unit to
like
measure very
sir
small
range of
size.
nanometer of normal microscope?
The range of normal microscope,
Nanometer of normal microscope.
that would be like between 500 to 1000 nanometer, or 500 to
And sir,
10,000, I would say.
and sir, the most like sir which is used to
Mm-hmm.
like sir measure the smallest cell like atom.
See, atoms can be viewed under an electron microscope. Getting it? Atoms can be visualized, can be viewed under an electron microscope. Okay. Electron microscopes are slightly different from these microscopes that you would have seen in your laboratory. Okay, now they
Sir,
would
what
be
is the
Hmm?
nanometer of an atom?
What is the size of atom, you should be asking.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
no, you should be asking the size of atom. Okay, size of atom also varies. Typically, it is, by the way, it is not in nanometer. Okay, na? But if you have to look at the like size of an atom, so somewhere it is around 1 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 10 meter. Getting it? So that would be typically the size of a given atom. Although it keeps changing for different atoms have different sizes. If you have a periodic table at your home, so it is divided
Sir, I
into
know.
groups and periods. So as you go down, the size of the atom increases. We can have a discussion about that sometime later on. Okay, na? Let's get back to this topic.
Yes, sir, sure, sure.
So the point of discussion here is to show you like how small a virus is in comparison to the other cells. Got it? That's the thing here. Further, the guy that you see over here, that is Dmitry Ivanovsky. Right? Dmitry Ivanovsky, he was the person to have discovered the virus for the first time, and many times. Also, one more thing, he has been called as the father of virology. Father of virology. Now the question, like, what is virology? So virology is basically the study of viruses and the infections that they cause. Virology is the branch of science where we study about the viruses and the infections that they cause. Furthermore, just like bacteria have been categorized into 4 types based on their shapes. Similarly, viruses can also be categorized into many types based upon their shapes. Just some of the shapes have been shown here. Some of the viruses have a polyhedral shape. Some of them have enveloped shape, like they have got protein structures all over their body. Some of them have a helical shape like this, or some of them are having very complex shape. Just take a look at this. Doesn't it look like some kind of robot, right? Looks like it's
Yes, sir.
kind of
Yes, sir.
some robot, right? And look at this one. Huh? Just look at how marvelous, like, and how unique shape they are having. Getting it? So if you guys sometime have free time, so what you should do, you should just open YouTube and you should just browse microscopic images or microscopic videos of viruses right now. So that is very fascinating. Again, here you can take some other examples of viruses, and along you can also recognize their shapes also. HIV, hepatitis B, they have enveloped shape right now. Getting it? Then you have adenovirus, influenza, bacteriophage. Bacteriophage has a complex shape. Adenovirus has a polyhedral shape. Okay. Now the question, like, how are the viruses different from other microorganisms? In the beginning, I told you that they are the smallest microorganisms, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is that they are different from others since they can reproduce only inside the cells of the host organisms. Getting it? Like, once the viruses have entered inside the body of other organisms, other cells, it could enter inside the cell of animals, it could enter inside the cell of plant, it could also enter inside the cell of a bacteria, right? So once it enters there, then they will start to multiply, then they will start to reproduce. So that makes them different from others. Like, as they are outside, as they are if they are not inside the cell of the host organism now, when they are in the outside environment, so they will not show any of the characteristics of living things. Like, viruses do not respire. Viruses do not respire. Respiration is very important, no? Right? Every living organism does respiration, but it's a unique thing about the virus that they do not respire. They will not feed on the food. huh? They will not excrete or move. So they will not be doing all of this on their own, on their own. But once they have entered also, they will be able to reproduce only if they enter a living cell. That is a host cell. So here, let's say you have virus. This virus is going to enter into the host cell. And once it has entered the host cell, now viruses starts multiplying. Viruses will start what? Multiplying. Okay, that's the thing. So as long as viruses are outside the living cells, they behave as non-living things. But as soon as living things, as soon as the viruses enters the living cells of other organisms, they start to behave as living things by carrying out the process of reproduction. And because of this reason, viruses are said to lie on the borderline of living and non-living things. Right? What do we say? That viruses are said to be living on the borderline dividing the living things from the non-living things, dividing the living things from the non-living things. Hope that is clear to everyone. Okay. Furthermore, we call them as agents of disease. Viruses are often called as agents of disease. They're often called as agents of disease because they are known for causing variety of disease in the human beings, in the animals, and even in the plants. Some of the common disease that are caused by them are as follows. Just take a look at this over here. Okay, we will go back to that later on. Let me just mention some of the disease caused by them. You all once in a while might have suffered from common cold, right? Very common. Like, since it is very common, hence the name is common cold. Right now it is so common. Then measles, mumps, chickenpox, smallpox, sexually transmitted disease like AIDS, right? So all of these are the disease that are caused by the viruses. Okay, now one such particular disease here is AIDS. Okay, its full form is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, and this disease is caused by a virus known as HIV virus. HIV. Okay, now later on we are going to learn a little bit more about that. Okay. So network issues. Okay, no issues for her. Okay. Further talking about like how are they beneficial? Like are they even beneficial to us? And what are their disadvantages? Yes, they are. There's a small little amount of advantage of virus that they are used in medicine to create vaccines now, right? And also in the genetic research for gene therapy, helping to treat genetic disorder. Like in medical treatment, somewhere in the medical treatment, if someone is suffering from genetic problem by birth, they have some disorder, so their viruses can actually be used to treat. Okay, but it's quite complex thing. Further, there are many disadvantages. Virus, like they are infectious organism that causes a wide range of disease in humans. Also, getting rid of a viral disease is very difficult task. Have we got rid of COVID? No.
No, sir.
Have we got? No, we haven't. In fact, the cases of COVID is rising in India,
Yes,
right?
sir. Right now, sir, some scientists check the,
Hmm.
sir, like, what do we say, sir, the sewer water, and sir,
Hmm.
sir said that COVID is coming back.
Hmm. Right now, somewhere around 1,000 cases are right now in India. Total
But sir,
cases
in
are around
Singapore, sir,
1,000.
it is more than 12,000.
Getting it. So the most cases are from Kerala. After Kerala,
Yes,
there's
sir.
cases in Maharashtra, then in Delhi. So getting rid of a viral disease is very, very difficult.
Sir,
Okay, no?
it stays forever, but sir, after
Hmm.
some time, sir, nobody catches it, sir, like the Spanish flu.
Yeah, like that. Basically, the thing is that once immune develops at a mass level in the people now, so then that disease becomes very
Yes, sir.
common.
So,
Few
like
years
for
from now,
example,
it can
if
also become common.
one example, sir,
Hmm.
if one person gets chicken pox, so there is a 95% chance after vaccination he won't get it any single time in his life because the immune has been aware
Hmm.
of the chicken pox.
Antibodies develops. It
Yes,
keeps a
sir.
memory of the microbe and fights it. Memory cells are also formed. Okay. So vaccine is related to virus. Right now, vaccine is actually related to virus because in preparation of vaccine, mainly virus is used, although some other microorganisms are also used. But its main thing is a vaccine. But let us first understand who discovered the vaccine for the
Yes,
first
sir.
time. Yeah.
Sir, but there are weakened viruses, right?
They obviously they are weakened virus. Okay, no?
So,
Hold
sir,
on.
how is it
Mhm.
dangerous?
They are not dangerous at
They
all.
awares our immune system.
They basically triggers your immune system so that your immune system prepares antibodies. Those antibodies will stay in your blood. So next time, suppose, God forbid, if the person
No, sir,
actually
I'm
gets
asking about how it is dangerous. How is it dangerous? You're saying it's
which
dangerous. Vaccine.
dangerous, I was
Yes,
talking
sir.
about the discovery. I'm pardon,
Oh,
like if I
okay,
said
sorry, sir.
something like I was trying to say about the discovery of the vaccine. Okay, no.
Uh,
Hmm. See, Dr. Edward Jenner, he created the world's first successful vaccine. He found out that people who were infected with cowpox were immune to smallpox. Like if a person had suffered from cowpox, so he will not get infected from smallpox. Okay, no? That is the thing. So thereby, what he basically did, he would go on to different places, right now. What he basically did, like there was a 8-year-old boy 8-year-old boy. If I'm not wrong, I think the name was something Edward Jenner or something like that. No, not Edward Jenner. It was a James Phipps or something. James Phipps, I think this was the name of the boy, 8-year-old boy, basically. See what he basically did. He found out that milkmaid, right now, pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay, now we'll be getting back to this. Milkmaid, you understand? Getting it now? They would be extracting out the milk from the cows, right? They would be extracting out the milk from the cows. They are the milkmaid. So the milkmaids used to get infected from cowpox. They used to get infected from cowpox. Getting it, Abu Bakr, Farhan, Priyanka, and Aman. So what
Yes, sir.
Edward Jenner did, Edward Jenner would go on to take some of the matter from their hand. Like they would collect matter from the hand of a milkmaid. Like there would be infections all over the body of the milkmaid if she is suffering from cowpox, right? Since they were working in the farm with the cows, they used to get infected from cowpox. So from their hand, what he used to do, he would collect some of the matter. So he collected some matter. Matter, you understand? Basically, some pieces of dead skin cells in which the infectious organism will be found. And he used to rub it on the hand or the body of, rubbed it on the hand or the body of James Phipps, right? He rubbed it on the body of James Phipps, the 8-year-old boy. And later on, he found out that this boy actually developed immunity against smallpox. Right now, he found out that people who were on purpose infected with cowpox, like or basically milkmaids who were infected with cowpox, were immune to smallpox. So he further did an experiment actually that he took some of the matter, collected some sample basically from the hand of the milkmaid and rubbed it on purpose on James Phipps, a 8-year-old boy's hand. And when the he found out that this boy had developed immunity, he was not getting infected from a smallpox. Understood this thing, everyone? So what exactly happened here? Basically, once those sample containing the virus was rubbed onto the body of James Phipps. So those viruses somehow when it entered inside the body, right? So it produced antibodies, and those antibodies fought it, built memory cells, getting it? It fought with the disease, kept a memory of it, prepared antibodies. Antibodies remain in the blood. So the next time when the smallpox virus tried to enter the body, so the antibodies recognized it, the memory cells recognized it and fought it well. Again, take a look at this like nowadays when a vaccine is administered to a child, right? Suppose there's a healthy person over here. So he is given vaccine. What does the vaccine contain? As you guys know, that vaccine basically contains the microorganisms or virus in a weakened, live, or killed state. They are weaker version of the microorganisms of virus or viruses particularly. They are weak or they are live, but they are weak or they are, let's say, in the killed state. So that is what vaccine contains, right? So in vaccination, vaccine is given to the body. Right? So when vaccine is introduced into a healthy body, the body will fight them by producing suitable antibodies. What happens? Your immune system will respond by preparing antibodies. What do they prepare? Antibodies are prepared. And memory cells are also prepared. Basically, memory cells will memorize that pathogen, memorize that disease causing virus or other microorganisms. So your body will now fight it. It will prepare antibodies and memory cells. It will stay in your blood. So the next time when the actual microorganism, actual pathogen enters your body, the body having antibodies and memory cells will recognize it and fight it well. So this is how immunity is developed against the particular kind of viruses. I suppose this much should be clear to everyone. Priyanka, are you outdoors? Yes, Abu Bakr. Are you in the class? Farhan, what about you?
Sir.
Sir, I'm
Anaman?
here.
So why is everyone so silent?
You are Priyanka, sir. That's why, sir.
Okay. Everyone understood what we have discussed so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, let's do some questions. So which of the following is a disease caused by protozoans?
Sir, polio.
Be careful, do not hurry.
Sir, malaria.
It's malaria. Good. Next.
Yes, sir. Chickenpox.
Chickenpox. Moments ago we were discussing about viruses now. So it is caused by virus actually.
Sir, polio.
Polio is also caused by virus. And
Sir,
dengue is also,
tuberculosis.
it's tuberculosis actually. Dengue is also caused by virus. This question also we can do that some plants have nitrogen fixing bacteria in their root nodules, right? In the root nodules of some of the plant. In the chapter number 1, we had learned about leguminous plants. Yeah,
Rhizobium.
that is rhizobium bacteria indeed. These are the root nodules. Okay, in that rhizobium is found to be living. Option number 4. Okay, this one we can do. See here. The question is, in order to take precautionary steps to control dengue, we must take measures to stop the breeding of. So dengue mosquito is which one? Like, is dengue spread due to fleas, due to fire ant, due to Anopheles mosquitoes? Let's start by cancelling out the options. Anopheles mosquito is responsible for spreading malaria, but the question is asking about dengue. So this is not the right option, right? Fleas and fire ants are not responsible for causing any kind of diseases, particularly this dengue. So that is also not the option. So here we can memorize this important thing that Aedes mosquito is responsible for spreading dengue. Getting it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So in the list of the disease, we can add up one more disease. That would be dengue or dengue fever. And that is caused by Aedes mosquito will be responsible for spreading it. Hope that's clear to everyone. Okay. Now we get to this question like, where do microorganisms live? Where are they found to be living? So one simple answer is to the question is that they are found to be living almost everywhere, right? Almost everywhere. Okay. They're found to be living in the water that we would be drinking. They're found to be living in the soil. They're found to be living in the air, right? So initially, without that, they are found like initially when so much of research was not being done, when we did not have that much of idea about the microorganisms. So without that, they are found to be living only in the contaminated place, like particularly places in the like in the gutter or in the dirty water or soil, such that. But now we know that they are found to be living almost everywhere. On our hand, so many microorganisms are found. On our tongue, so many microorganisms are found. Inside the gut, inside our body, also several different groups of microorganisms are found to be living. In fact, I might have told you guys this thing that there are more number of microorganisms found to be living inside our mouth than the total human population. Particularly which microorganism I'm saying about the bacteria. There are more bacteria found to be living in our mouth than the entire human population, right? What is the current world population right now?
Sir, 8 billion.
That is 8 billion. To be specific, it is around 8.2 billion, right? So there are more bacteria living in your mouth than there are human in the entire than the entire human population.
So,
So that is quite interesting, or like quite a surprising thing to know. Yeah.
sir, I was saying that, sir, people use mouthwash. So, sir, how
Hmm.
does this mouthwash help to remove microorganisms from our mouth?
It will help to remove some of them, but not all of them. See, there
Sir,
are
but
two
how,
groups
sir?
of
What it
microorganisms
has
found to
that
live in mouth.
removes the some of microorganisms from our mouth?
See, mouthwash that will be that we use to clean our mouth, that will basically kill some of the microorganisms now. Getting
I'm
it?
saying, sir, what does it contain so that some of the microorganisms die?
What does the mouthwash contain that microorganisms die from it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the question. See, basically, they will be containing different kind of things, like they contain antiseptics in them. Okay, no, antiseptics will be found to be them. In fact, some of them even contain alcohol in them. Getting it? So these are the
Yes,
ingredients
sir.
that is used in them. Some of the like menthol is also used. You guys know about menthol, right?
Yes, sir.
Mentho all.
Sir, it
Menthol
is in
oil
all
is,
mouthwashes.
yeah, exactly. So menthol is also used in the mouthwash washes. Okay, menthol, and other than that, like sometimes clove oil is also used. Clove, you understand, right? I think you understand clove, right? So clove oil is also used in the seventh grade. You remember I did told you about that there are different type of acid base indicator. Clove oil is also used as an indicator. So you can recall from that. So these are the things that is used there anyways. Now the
Okay,
question,
sir.
where do the microorganisms live? So simple answer, it is found to be living almost everywhere, right? It can be found, it is found to be living in the water, in the soil, inside our body, right?
Sir, then
Outside our
why
body.
doesn't it harm us if it's like
Hmm.
more than 8 billion in our mouth?
Yeah, because some of them are actually good. Some of them are good, but some of them are bad. It's not
So, sir,
only
what
eight, more than 8 billion. It's actually more than 30 trillion. More than 30 trillion of bacteria alone only. Not
that's
about the
one
other.
third of the world's economy.
Yeah. Okay. So much of microorganisms are found to be living. Okay. That is the thing. So
Okay.
some of them harmful, like some of them will lead to plague, right? Plague. Uh, some of
Can they
them
be
will
sold?
give you bad breath also. Can it be
Sold?
sold?
Yes, sir. Can we just like take it out of our mouth, sir? Like look it under the
Uh-huh.
microscope and sir, then sell it.
Oh, that would be a stupid thing to do. Why would someone even do that?
We'll become
Uh-huh.
richer than Elon Musk. Sir, because there are 30 trillion, sir. Even if I sell it for 1 rupee each, sir, I will have more than, sir, 30 billion. More than
Who
300
will
billion.
who will buy it from you, and how are you going to even collect and like keep it alive? Like is it kind of something that the scientist does not know? If you suppose if you
Sir,
get your
even we
hands,
are
hold on,
microorganisms, sir.
suppose hold on, suppose if you get your hands on a microorganism which has not been discovered by any of the scientists, so
Hmm.
then it will be something from which you can benefit. Otherwise the microorganisms which the
Can we sell
scientists
them?
already know about, sell them. Like the first thing is like you need to store it. Like you as not having a background, like you're not a biologist right now, suppose in
Yes,
future
sir.
if you are, so you
Sir,
don't
I'll
know how
hire
to.
one.
You have one. Okay, okay. You won the debate. Okay, so
Sir,
you
ideas
would
are
have.
in every corner, sir. I
Yeah.
can be rich.
Right, you
Sir,
can
but
be rich.
seriously, sir, can we sell
Hmm.
them?
I don't think there are any. Yeah, like if suppose you you get some microorganisms right now, and that microorganism has not been discovered yet, you become the discoverer of that microorganism, right? So
Yes.
in that sense, like you can benefit from that in some way.
Sir,
Okay,
but how
anyways,
will we know that it's never been discovered?
so for that you will need to take a look at the list of all the microorganisms,
Sir,
right?
there are more than, sir, I think so, more than septillions or octillions, sir.
Exactly. So
So,
then
sir,
that
how
would
will I
be a,
find that?
you can basically Also, like you have to actually study about the characteristics of it. How will you even know? Even if you know all the names, have you taken a look at the pictures of all the microorganisms? How would you get to know that this is the new one? Getting it. Even anyways, let's get back to the topic. Okay, now see. So they are found to be living on our hand, inside our body, in our mouth, on our skin. They are found to be living in the soil. They are found to be living around us, right? In the garbages, they are found to be living. So almost every where they are found to be living, right? So some of the key places where they are found in more concentration, like soil and water, right? Now, as they're found to be living in soil and water, they play an important role in nutrient cycling and decomposition also, right? Now, like microorganisms like rhizobium help in nitrogen cycle. They were found to be living in soil, right? And some of them are also helpful in decomposition also, as you can see here, right? Some of the microorganisms found to be living in the soil will help in decomposition of the dead organic matter present in it. It is found to be living in the air also, right? Now it can be present on the tiny dust particles or the water droplets in the atmosphere. Okay, then can be found to be living in extreme environments also. Some of them are found to be living in the deep ocean. They can be found to be living in hot springs, in the polar ice caps, and in highly acidic or basic water. There also some of them are found to be living. Okay, na? So they are particularly called as extremophiles. Okay, na? A term that we use to describe those organisms, those microorganisms that are found to be living in extreme conditions where no other living organisms will usually be found to be living. Then it can be found inside and on the body of the organisms, like inside the gut of the body, inside the large intestine. Some of them are found to be living, while on our hand, on our skin also they are found to be living, and they would be often causing so many health related issues, or sometimes they are even helpful for our health. Like some of the bacteria that are found to be living in the gut, no, in the large intestine, they help in digestion. Okay, then they are found to be living in man-made places like hospital, obviously, right now. In the hospital, so many microorganisms can be found to be living, especially if hygiene has not been maintained there, right? Then in food production facilities also, if you guys ever have been to, let us suppose, a local bakery, right? A bakery, particularly here in some parts of India, if you happen to visit a uh, biscuit factory, look, like suppose, okay, now in my locality actually there's a biscuit factory. Okay, and it's the worst place you can ever go to. They don't maintain hygiene. There are rats everywhere, right? They don't maintain hygiene. There's food spread everywhere, right now. So those man-made facilities, particularly food production facilities, also becomes a breeding ground for different microorganisms. Then obviously in the wastewater treatment plant, right now, when the sewage from your houses goes to the wastewater treatment plant, so much of microorganisms will be found to be living there now in that wastewater, right? So all these are host for different type of microorganisms. Again, here you can take a look at some of the images. Like even in the polar ice caps, some of them are found to be living, right now, where no, in fact, frozen ice caps, I'm saying these are like frozen ice now. So inside that also they are found to be living. In the deep oceans, they are found to be living. And in our body also, particularly near the reproductive organs, microorganisms are found to be living. As you can see, like in the gut, in the mouth and the throat, in the nose, in the stomach, in the reproductive organs, and in the skin, they are usually found to be living, right? So inside our body, in the gut, in the skin, mouth, and in the reproductive organs, they are found to be living. Okay. Now, these microorganisms that are found to be living on or inside our body, they are essential for our health, but they are bad in the way that they are responsible for making us sick also. Okay, so these are the major areas where more amount of microorganisms are found to be living in our body. So right now we have completed the first part of the chapter where we did learn about the different groups of microorganisms. Okay, and also where they are found and where they are found particularly to be living inside our body. Okay, Hope that much should have been clear to everyone in the class. All right. Next, we are going to learn about the good part about the microorganisms and the bad part. The reason why the chapter is named as microorganism friends and foe. Friends. So they are having some uses now. Foe, they are having some harmful effects. So let us learn about the uses of microorganisms first of all. So first, let us learn about the curd formation. Like how you're Priyanka, you're saying something? Type it quickly. So what knows? Like why would I need it? But you can send it. Like if there's some questions from that, we can discuss that in the class. Okay, send it to the counselor Priyanka. Okay. Yeah. What happened? Okay. See. So the question like how is curd formed? So there's a bacteria called as lactobacillus that is used to prepare curd. You might have seen like how your mom would be preparing curd in the house. What she would do, she will take a small sample of curd. Getting it now? What she will basically do, she will take a small sample of curd. Let's say she has taken a teaspoon of like a spoonful of curd, 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 and she will take 1 or 2 liters of milk, and in that boiled milk she will add a small amount of curd, and overnight the next day it turns into curd. The whole milk turns into curd. Why so? Because this curd contains the lactobacillus, a bacteria in it, and when we added this into milk, this bacteria starts to multiply. It starts to multiply and the whole milk gets converted into curd. Like usually after 12 to 20 hours it completely converts into curd. So that is the thing. Getting it, everyone?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So that is a good part about a bacteria. Which bacteria we learned about? Lactobacillus. It is used in the preparation of curd. Next, we have a fungus, that is yeast. It's a fungi, no, right? Earlier we learned about a bacteria. Let me write it over here. Use of bacteria. Although there are some other uses of bacteria also which we'll be taking and discussing. Now, yeast is used in the baking industry in order to make bread, pastries, and cakes. In the baking industry, yeast powder is added into the food because it helps in fermentation. It helps in fermentation. See what basically happens here. Okay. Suppose you have taken dough. Dough, you understand, right? Wheat plus water. You mix it together, it becomes dough. Then you add yeast to it. How? Like yeast powder is available in the market. You add it to this. Okay. Also, you can add some amount of sugar in it also. Like you can add some amount of sugar, or you can also add some amount of water to this. So then what will happen? Basically, it will help break it down. And usually in the bakery, it is done in the anaerobic condition. Like in the absence of oxygen, this process will be carried out. Absence of oxygen, where after addition of yeast to the dough, it will become very, very fluffy. What happens? It becomes very fluffy, becomes very big in size like this. So what basically has happened here? Actually, in this process, the dough has been broken down by the yeast into simple organic molecules, into simple substances. Okay, na? And thereby this got filled with carbon dioxide in it. Right? So there were so many tiny holes, tiny pores made in it, and thereby because of that it become fluffy and the dough rises. Getting it, everyone?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we are supposed to just put the yeast powder in the dough.
Just repeat a little bit. Repeat it once again.
So I don't think so that we have to put the yeast powder in the dough.
Okay, we don't have to put the yeast powder.
Yes, sir, like directly put the yeast powder in the dough.
Like usually it is available in the market. Okay, now, like not particularly might not be in the form of yeast. Okay, but I think might be in the form of like some like in the form of a liquid or some other thing. Getting it?
No, sir, like we have to take the yeast and put it in the water to activate it and then add the water to the dough.
Hmm. Basically, like what we can do now, like we will take dough, right? And then we will take the yeast powder. We take some water. We'll take some sugar. Prepare a mixture, and cover it with something. Make like basically limit the presence of oxygen. Getting it now? So that's how we can use it. Also, yeast comes in some other form also. Okay, now like it is available in the form of dry state. Dry yeast is available, but if you have to activate it, if you have to use it, you need to add some amount of water to this, because if it is in the dry state, it is not going to work. You need to add some amount of water to activate it. I think that was your question, Abu Bakr. Is it clear, or rephrase your question? Like what exactly was it, if it's not clear?
Sir, we need to take the yeast and then put it in water and then mix it
Yeah,
for some time
exactly.
to activate the yeast. Then to add
Yeah, that's what I mentioned in the last, no? Like